And we are now back with round number 3. We have Sven Stolz versus Emil Polak. We have Polak, Emil on mono black Stompy with Rotting Register, Dirty Void Walker, Shield Red, Helm of Obedience, and many more favorite cards in our metagame, Khan the Great Creator, and stuff like that. On the other side, we have the menace of the format, the before mentioned Blue Red Delva from Sven Stolz. To correct, Sven is playing on the top, and Emil is playing on top. Now we should see the cards a little bit better. I hope you can forgive me. It's a little bit troublesome currently with only a laptop. It's a lot to compensate here. But yeah. We have at turn 1, or is at turn 1 Delver of Secrets, flipping. We have no graveyard, which means a big thing actually for Emil, because it doesn't allow the Dragon Ridge Channel to grow, doesn't allow the Murktide Region to be cast. There is still a 1 of Brazen Borer in the deck for Sven, but he has the double Delver into another Dragon Ridge Channel to go. Triple threat down on turn 2. A really strong start of Sven here. Let's see if he has a force of will to combat something here. And yeah, will be interesting. Thank you, it's Curlex, for following the channel. I hope you like the content that we have here, and hope that we have it more regularly in the near future. We have 4 seats. That means Emil is going down to 15 here. Hopefully they will do the live totals a little bit more in the near future, because 3 damage from the Delva and 2 damage from the Fortsies. And unfortunately no second land drop for Emil here. Seems like he will be on the play for game 2, but maybe we have like something else in the near future. Oh, he was just writing down his notes for the Fortsies of the cards in the hand of Sven. So we have here a wasteland clearing the second land here. We have a City of Traitors here. He took another 5 down to 10. We have a Rotting Regisaur here. Do we see a Daze? And it's a no. So it's a 7/6, and in the upkeep you have to put down some cards. Currently our players are 2-0. It's table 3, so each of those players are undefeated currently. I would try to put in the scores for the next round, which is actually something that can be done. Right player. We can put it something like this here. And for Sven. this should work out now. Okay. We have a card discarded here. We have a second rotting Regisor, and Emil should be at 7 life now. We will see if there is something that Emil can do to combat the Delver player. The problem is now that like bolts are really bad cards, because he can close out the game before maybe even drawing a card. So yeah. And hello to everyone that is new in the chat. I'm Peter Plank. I'm one of the hosts for the In Response and Legacy podcast. I'm also one of the members of the council for the Austrian Legacy League, where we are organizing events in Austria and doing a lot in the area around Linz. We are also in discussion with the European Legacy Masters, and the winner of today's event will get an invite for the European Legacy Masters, so there's a lot on the spot here. I'm in the location from 3-for-1 Trading, which is a really good company in Austria, providing you with dual lands, old school staples, and much more. And yeah, we are currently having a little bit of downtime on the stream, it seems. Maybe we have a judge call. I'm not sure what it is. So we have to wait and see what happens here. So if anyone in the chat has anything they want to ask, just feel free to shoot in a message, shoot in a question. I will try to answer it. If it is how to really configure your blue-red Delver deck, you have to ask some online grinders about this. We see an expressive iteration flipping the second Delver of Secrets, which should put Sven down, should put down Emil down to 1. I have to quickly go over to our competitors and say that they should use it, because it's a little bit confusing for me to commentate on. And Sven should actually be at 12, so yeah, it's a little bit more to correct, but we will see. Another wasteland, which means Helm of Obedience can't really happen. Maybe he has, if he has like Dark Ritual, and Helm of Obedience, it's a possibility, but yeah, doesn't look that great actually for Emil here. Will be interesting. So yeah, Wasteland goes to the exile. Wasteland clears away the City of Traitors. So we still have only the 1 Pokemon land out there. Do we get in with 1 or 2 Delve of Secrets? It seems like it's just 1. Yeah. Hi Tom. Delvers versus dinosaurs, yeah. Exactly what we thought when we heard about something about Ixalan, and we have an opposition agent and a Sheldred discard here. We're getting in twice 7 would be 14, would be lethal, but 1 is blocked, so minus 14 should be at 5, and that's game 1. 1 for Sven on blue-red Delver. I will be quickly back on the stream, so see you in a few seconds. Hello, I am back. And what is your name? So, we have now the two players sideboarding here. So, what are cards that we are looking out for? We have, like, on the side of Del, we have Surgical Attraction in the sideboard, which doesn't seem great actually. We have Force of Negation, which is more the card that I would look out to. We have Pyroblast and Hydroblast, which doesn't do anything. Meltdown doesn't look good, and the Festivities doesn't look good. Submerge, maybe a Maddening Hex or a Price of Progress, but not really any cards that are spectacular in this matchup. The one card that I would look out for is actually the Force of Negation, because cards like Lightning Bolt aren't that great here. We have also a Tarfire in the deck of Sven. So yeah, it allows a little bit for an earlier transition into Delirium for the Dragon Rage Chandler, which is basically an old modern deck in Chant. We have, I think, there are no Urza Saga in the deck for Emil here, which are cards that I would look out for. So yeah, the matchup is Mono Black Stompy, Leyland Helm, Sheldred versus Blue Red Delva. So Sven on Blue Red Delva and Emil on Mono Black Stompy. And what are cards that Emil would maybe look out for sideboarding? We have like Plague Engineer in the sideboard. We have Sudden Edict, which is actually a good card here, playing around all of the counter magic that Sven can provide. We have another Opposition Agent, which is not that great actually, because you don't really search your deck except for lands on the side of Delva, and it's a creature that dies to Lightning Bolt. We have Toxic Deluge, which can be played with Liquid Metal Coating, which Ensnaring Bridge. We have the Flagship, we have a Pithing Needle, a Helm of Obedience, and a Wretched Bomb, which are all cards that will stay out of the deck because it's the calm package. So I still think that Emil should be a little bit favored, especially because like Leyland of the Void is such a good card here. But unfortunately he wasn't able to transition it into a turn 1 win, a game 1 win, which would be huge in this matchup. So we will have Emil now on the play in game 2, and let's see what he can do. Actually, there are not really any bound things, except for, yeah, a Leyland of the Void would be really strong here, because you have strong beaters, you don't have to rely on the combo as the Mono Black Stompy player. So yeah, everything looks good. And yeah, Tom Caputa Muipier, I'm so sorry Tom, thank you for following the channel. I hope you all have a good day today. And yeah, we have now Emil on the play for game 2, and Sven, which is a local player from Vienna, on the draw for game 2, but 1 game up. It's currently we have a few players from outside of Austria. We have a few German, if I remember correctly. We have some guys from Prague coming here, so we are quite international currently. There are a few players in here that want to steal the slot from Austria to their home country, be the 5th German player or the 5th Czech player to come play at the European Legacy Masters. So what do we have here now? Do we have a mulligan on the side of Emil? I think you kind of want to aggressively mulligan down to 5 to find the Leyland of the Void. I think if you have a okayish functioning hand, you can keep it with a Leyland of the Void. So yeah, but it was not. It's a turn 1 Swamp Duck Ritual. Do we have a Force of Will? I don't think so. Something that would be good here is like a Dirty Voidwalker, for example, which is a great card. Or we even see like Forces into Dirty Voidwalker, which would be really strong. And we see the Force of Negation was boarded in. Force of Negation, Pitch Force. So up to turn 1 for Sven. It's actually a quite good exchange for Emil here. Just using a ritual to pay out 2 forces is quite nice. And we have another Urborg, so that means we have a Grixis land on the side of Sven, with another Chromox, exiling a Plague Engineer, so the Plague Engineer was boarded in, and we get the Rotting Regisaur. Does this one get dealt with? And it gets dazed. That's quite unfortunate for Emil, which puts Sven a little bit up front now. But Emil has so many big beaters that he can draw. If he can deploy Shield Red for next turn, it's looking really, really good. If he can deploy another Rotting Regisaur, another Dinosaur, or even a Dirty Voidwalker would be good. Because like Dirty Voidwalker doesn't allow Sven to have access to something like his Dragon Rage Channeler being big, or a Murktide region to be cast. So there are a lot of things that this matchup can go to Emil, but yeah, Sven plays the consistency machine with Delva, with the Cantrip Cartel, with Ponder, Brainstorm. You have so much access to what cards you will draw in the near future. You have Expressive Iteration, which allows you to even have card advantage while choosing which cards you want to have access to. On the other side, we have Emil playing card after card from the top of the deck, and he hopes that they are doing something good. So yeah. So we have now the Dirty Voidwalker, which is a good card in this matchup. I mean, it dies to Lightning Bolt, but yeah, it's still something that is strong. But we have the Ledger Shredder on the other side of the table, which is a card that can quickly grow. We have now an trigger from the Ledger Shredder, which allows Sven to loot away a card that he doesn't want to. This card looted away will get exile with a silver counter, so that the Dirty Voidwalker can play it in the near future. And another Mishra's Bauble will be in the exile. So yeah, draw from the Bauble, draw the land on the side of Emil. For sure he will play the land. And let's see if we can get some bigger bodies up there. It's the Sudden Edict, which is a clean answer to the Ledger Shredder. Doesn't allow any shenanigans. And now attacking in for 3 damage. First damage of the game. That means Emil is now the aggro deck. Or Emil is the beatdown, as the Fury provides us. A really big thing is there is only instant sorcery land in the graveyard for Emil, for Sven, which means the Dragon Rage Channel won't be Delirious. Let's see if the Dragon Rage Channel will be Delirious in the near future. Like having access to a Lightning Bolt clears away the Dirty Voidwalker, but on the next turn Emil can play a hardcast Leyline of the Void. So there are some possibilities in the near future where there is a permanent that clears the graveyard, with which Sven doesn't have really access to denying or clearing out. a neat thing about the Doughty Voidwalker is that it is a Doughty, and every Doughty has the ability Shadow, which means it can only be blocked by Shadow creatures. And yeah, here we have the Starfire, and hopefully they do it correctly, because it's damage based, so it goes into the Excel. Because it's like, yeah, because it's a state based action. Okay, let's hope that there is not another Doughty Voidwalker, because with Doughty Voidwalker they will be exiled with a silver counter. Yeah, and they do it correctly. Yeah, it won't be exiled and the Doughty Voidwalker sees it. They are exiled with a silver counter, so that means all of those cards any other Doughty Voidwalker in the state, in any state of the game, can play it. So yeah, if we have here now a Plague Engineer on human, the Dragon Rage Channeler will also go to the graveyard. No, Starfire doesn't go to the graveyard, because and destroy effect will go to the graveyard, and then damage effect will go to the exile. If I remember correctly, because like with a damage, the creature dies from state-based actions. That means the spell has already been resolved. That means the spell has to be already in the graveyard, so that means the Doughty Voidwalker has to exile the card. It's a little bit more complicated, I think, as I said it correctly currently, but yeah, this is how it is. So yeah, we will see if Emil finds an answer to the Murktide region. Maybe he finds another sudden edict or something like that. Then everything should be on par for him. And I have to admit, I really like this mono black deck. It has so many things that it can do. Means Emil, Sven goes down to 15. And the question is now, does Sven has another big threat to play here? There are a lot of 4-drops, and we see here the Counter Great Creator, and going down to 3, and he getting to tutor something from his exile. He has Liquid Metal Coating, a Song Bridge, Sky Servant, Piffing Needle, Helm of Obedience, and the Ratchet Bomb. And let's see what he gets. So I'm not sure what he took. But yeah. He took the Ensnaring Bridge, which means Sven has to kill the Khan for this turn now. And he does, which means Emil can hide for a few turns, most likely behind the Ensnaring Bridge. There's still the problem that this goes to the graveyard, yeah. There is access to Dragon Rage Channel, which allows, or can allow, for a lot of filtering to find the one-off bounce spell in the form of Brazen Borer. So this is exactly the thing that Callum Smith, for example, said, that he didn't really like the bridge anymore in Painter, because you have so many cards that can filter you through the deck, so that one off is enough. And as we saw now, there is a Brazen Borrow in his hand, which means bounce the bridge, attack for 6, play the Brazen Borrow, attack for 6, and attack for 9 and win the game. So this is currently the game plan for Sven, and he looks like basically ready to go to win the game. And yeah, definitely in a good spot for Sven now. Or do we see here another card? Okay, it's the Ponder. We even have a Meltdown here. I mean, I kind of dislike the Meltdown, because the cards that you want to Meltdown are the Helm of Obedience. You may get a one of a Chromox or something like that, but this is in the Urza Saga deck. But you don't know if it's an Urza Saga deck, because like the old builds didn't play the Shield Rat, so they had a lot more flexibility with mana, because like double black is really hard with playing with playing double black. So yeah, will be interesting. Hello Finnick, which is a fellow podcasting host of mine from the In Response Legacy podcast, and he loves that Delver is only 9% of the meta. The first match that we missed was Delver versus Blue-Green Infect, which was won by Infect. In game round we saw Delver versus Elves, and now we have Delver versus Mono Black Sheldred. So yeah, we will have everything that we want to have. Now we have a Sheldred here, which is really strong for Emil, which can buy him a few turns, because like now 2 damage down to Sven, down to 13. The thing is, he still has the Brazen Borer in his hand, which means there is an out to either the Shield Rat or the Ensnaring Bridge, but you have to deal with the Ensnaring Bridge, and there is only a single Brazen Borer, so you have to perfectly time the cards, play it around every remove spell from the hand. There are forces in the hand, there are I mean, forces can be boarded out, for example, but there are for sure still Hemtotorix in his hand. So if you don't deploy the Brazen Borer early, you will lose the game by drawing your deck, because Sheldred kills you. So it will be a really interesting spot how Sven navigates this matchup, because like the Brazen Borer is the card that's really hard to deal with, and we see that he plays a second Murktide Regent, which pumps the first Murktide Regent and plays another Murktide Regent. So he's now with, I think, exactly 18 power on board, but 18 power isn't currently enough. So it's still not completely sure for Sven to win when bouncing the Ensnaring Bridge. And that's the power of Sheldred, because like life gain or a little bit of life loss is so diminishing. There isn't a lot that can happen. So yeah, it just happens. So you need some exiles on the graveyard to pump your own Murktide Regent or something like that, but you don't really have the power to cast another Murktide Regent. So I think actually that this is a really strong spot for Emil, despite having 18 power of the opposing side of the battlefield. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, everything is balanced. I really like Sheldred actually. This build is really cool. Maybe we have to find print the deck list out as Spice of the Tournament or something like that, or Newcomer of the Tournament maybe even. Okay, there's a little bit of light flickering on my side. Okay, card drawn for Emil. Maybe he finds a Helm of Obedience or stuff like that, or another big drop, another Rotting Regisaur. It's it should be 55, yeah, or 54. I'm currently not sure. 55 or 54 are the players for the tonight, for the qualifier today. So yeah. The problem now is you need 2 bolts on the side of Sven to win the game, and I think the Sheldred perfectly stalled out the match because you have like one shot due to bounce the bridge, and you need a card that pumps your 2 Merktide regions, and the Merktide regions are dealing 18 damage, and 22 is more than 18. So if you bounce the ensnaring bridge, Emil can win off the backswing, and he doesn't have to do anything because like in 4 turns, he will be dead. Okay. This was incorrect because it's a 4-drop. Yeah, exactly. But I still think that is. I mean, he's not really that good to go. It. Okay. Taking down to 16. So he goes. Discards a card. Goes up to 18. The problem is Sheldred. Is it a 4/5 with Death Touch? I'm currently not sure how Sheldred is worded. The new Sheldred has Death Touch, 4/5 with Death Touch. So I think that you just attack in with both of those, but then you will die on the backswing at 1 life. So yeah, it's really difficult. But the one thing that Emil can do is helming for a Dragon Rage Channela or another Merktide region, which would be perfect to win the game. Yeah, I think this is actually the play. Okay. You block the Regisaur, you go down to 3. And have lethal on board. And you can even in the upkeep bounce the Sheldred, which is something that you can do. Maybe Sven has something to play here. But I think the only out that he has is using the intentional way of Helm of Obedience. I think this is the one out that he has. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like 4. And it's a Delva. And he only hits a Delva. Unfortunate. That means Sven wins the third round, 2-0 versus Emil Polak. Was a really nice matchup actually. Sheldred nearly winning the game, but the Meltdown X3 really made a big display in winning this game. So thank you guys for watching the 3rd round. I will be back with round number 4 in a few minutes. I think it should be like downtime like 10 to 15 minutes. I will put the downtime on 15 minutes. So see you after the break.